Hello children, again I am back again with the continuation of our previous video on adjectives and forms of adjectives. So we have seen what are adjectives, children? Yes, so adjective is nothing but it is a word that is going to tell something about a noun. Okay, now today we are going to look into forms of adjectives, or it is also called as degrees of comparison. Okay, this is very important. Degrees of comparison. The adjectives are used in n number of ways. Now, to use the adjectives in a proper way, there are certain rules also. Okay, children? So, mainly degrees of comparison is divided into three types. Okay, positive degree of comparison, comparative degree of comparison, and superlative degree of comparison. Okay, what is positive? If the adjective is in a very simple form, then we call it as positive degree of comparison. Okay, the adjective which is used in a very simple form. Now, comparative, the adjective, by the word itself we can understand comparative. Yes, so the adjective is being compared between two things. Okay, then we call it as comparative degree of comparison. Superlative, very large, the comparison is done in a very huge extent. Okay, then we call it as superlative degree of comparison. Right, children? So, mainly, I repeat it once again, degrees of comparison is divided into three types: positive degree of comparison, comparative degree of comparison, and superlative degree of comparison. Okay, so positive is the adjective is in a very simple form. Then we call it as positive degree of comparison. Comparative, when the adjective is being compared between two things, then we term it as comparative degree of comparison. Now superlative, when the comparison is done in a very large extent, then we term it as superlative degree of comparison. Okay, now this is a very important topic in English grammar, children. So in the textbook part it is not given so clearly like where to use which degree of comparison. He has just given you certain examples and asked you to do certain exercises. But now through this video I am going to tell you certain rules. Okay, you should know these rules. There are about 5 rules by writing the degree of comparison. Okay, I will be explaining you each rule in clearly, and at the same time I am going to give you I'll send the WhatsApp pic also. I'll send you the pictures of the notes which are there in this degrees of comparison. Okay, so these rules, 5 rules which are there, that also I am going to send you a pic, and I want you to write all these rules very clearly in your classwork copy. Okay, so that this will be an asset to you for any future reference. Okay, children, these form the basics of English grammar. Just by listening, you will not understand. Okay, children, so there are 5 rules that has to be followed. So let me tell you each rule in detail. Now, rule number 1. Comparative is usually formed by adding ER and superlative EST. So, in first rule, any adjective if it is there, that to that adjective you can add ER for a comparative, EST for a superlative degree. Understood? For normal words, in rule number 1, if the word is adjective is very normal, okay, that particular adjective positive becomes the adjective, then in the comparative form you will write ER, and in the superlative form you will write EST. For example, bold. Bold is an adjective, and this bold is in the positive form. Now when you get it into the comparative form, bold bolder. B-O-L-D-E-R. Bolder. You are adding E-R to the adjective. Okay? To the adjective bold in the comparative form. It becomes bolder. Now, in the superlative form, you are going to add est to the adjective. Okay? You will add est to the adjective. Bold. It becomes boldest. B-O-L-D-E-S-T. Boldest. Now, let us see small example. Ram is a bold boy. Means it's very brave. Okay? Ram is a bold boy. Simple form, we tell it as bold. Okay? Bolder. Ram is bolder than Rahul. Okay? So, when you are comparing two boys, out of the two boys, Ram is bolder. Okay? We use the word bolder. And there the adjective is ending with er. Okay? There it is comparative degree. Okay? Now, Ram is boldest of all. So, out of all the children in the class, Ram is the boldest boy. So, you can't name each and every child, right? So, superlative degree mein we will use est for the adjective. Okay? Bold becomes bolder in comparative, boldest in superlative degree of comparison. So, this becomes the first rule. Now, second rule. When the positive ends with E, okay, only R and ST are added. If the positive degree of comparison, any adjective is ending with E. Okay? If the adjective word is ending with E, then in the comparative, you will add R, and in the superlative degree, you will add ST. Okay? That is the second rule. Now, let us see the example. Brave. B-R-A-V-E. Brave. Brave is an adjective. Now, this word brave, in the positive form, it is ending with E. Okay? The word is ending with E. Now, when the adjective word is ending with E, in the comparative form, you will add R. Okay? B-R-A-V-E-R. Braver. Braver. Okay? Now, in the superlative form, you will add est. You will add st. Means B-R-A-V-E-S-T. Bravest. Understood, children? Yes. So, if the word in the positive, if it is ending with E, then in the comparative, you will add R. In the superlative degree, you will add st. Understood? Brave, braver, bravest. So, this now brave. John is a brave boy. Okay? Now, braver. John is braver than Roshit. Okay? Braver than Roshit. John is the bravest boy of all. Or John is the bravest. Finish. Out of all the students in the class, he is the bravest boy. Understood? Yes? Brave, braver, bravest. But you should know where to use what, children. Okay? Now, let's go to the third rule. Okay? Please concentrate. When the positive ends with one consonant. Okay? And the consonant is preceded by a short vowel. The first consonant is doubled and ER and EST are added. Very lengthy, no? Very confusing, right? I'll tell you in a very simple form. Okay? Now, a quick recap. You must have known what are vowels and consonants, children? Very good. A, E, I, O, U are vowels. Remaining all the other alphabets in English, they come under consonants. So we have got only 5 vowels. The remaining all the other English alphabets are the consonants. Right? Clear? Okay. Now next is short vowel. Short vowel means the sound of the vowel is very small. Now we say A, E, I, O, U. Out of all this, A, E, I, they are the short vowels. O, U are the long vowels. A, E, that is short. These are long. You are dragging the sound a little. It becomes a long vowel. If you are not stressing on the vowel, it becomes a short vowel. A, E. That is A, E, I. Short vowel or long vowel. Understood? Now, short vowel. Clear over here? Now, preceded. Preceded means before. Okay? Now let us see. When the positive ends means an adjective is ending with one consonant. Any word, the ending letter is a consonant and the consonant is preceded by a short vowel. That means before the consonant word. Preceding means before. So, before that consonant, if it is a short vowel means either you have A, E or I, then the first consonant is doubled. The consonant which is there in the last will be doubled 2 times. Okay? For the positive, and ER and EST are added. Okay? ER and EST will be added. Now let us see the example. It will be very easy for you. Now I have an example big. Big spelling is B-I-G, big. Okay? Now in this word big, the word adjective is ending with a consonant. Yes or no? Yes. G is a consonant. Okay? Now this G is preceded. Preceded means before letter, before alphabet. What is the before alphabet? It is I. And I is a short vowel. We have seen here. Yes. A, E, I are short vowels. Okay. So, I is a short vowel. And what happens now? This G will be doubled in the comparative and superlative degree. Okay? And to that doubling, you will add ER to the comparative, EST to the superlative. Let us see. B-I-G, big. Okay? Now in the comparison, it becomes bigger. B-I-G-G-E-R. Okay? Why 2 times G has come here? Rule number 3. Okay? Why? Because rule 3 tells if the word is ending with a consonant and before the consonant preceded, before the consonant, if you have a short vowel, then the consonant will be doubled. You will writing the consonant 2 times. Okay? You write it 2 times and you will add ER in the comparative form, EST in the superlative form. So, big will change to bigger and biggest. Understood now, children? Yes? By how we are writing B-I-G-G-E-R, bigger. But nowhere we write B-I-G-R, bigger. Is there any word like B-I-G-R, bigger, children? I have to not come across. Yes? Very good. It will not be there. Because we have to follow these rules. If you know how to write these rules, your English grammar will be very perfect, children. You know where to use which adjective. Understood? Right. So, rule number 3 tells if the word is ending with a consonant and before the consonant, if you have a short vowel, then the consonant will be doubled. And to that consonant, you add ER for the comparative degree and EST for the superlative degree. Right children, clear now? Yes, very good. So that is rule number 3. Now let's go to rule number 4. If the positive ends with Y is preceded by a consonant, Y changes to IR, ER, EST are added. Okay? Little changes, just remember, it will be there in your mind forever. Okay? Now, if the positive ends with Y, any adjective, if it is ending with Y is preceded by a consonant, right? Now, preceding by a consonant, it is not a vowel. Consonant means you know, no? Apart from A, E, I, O, U, remaining all the alphabets are consonants. So, any consonant is present before Y, then Y changes to I. Okay, Y will change to I, and to this you will add ER in the comparative form and EST in the superlative form. Understood? Now let's see an example. DRY, dry. Okay, the word adjective DRY, dry. Now the word is ending with Y. Only if the word is only ending with Y, then only this rule is applicable. Understood? If the word is not ending with Y, you cannot apply this rule, children. You should remember that. Okay? Now, in the word dry, the word is ending with Y. And to this Y, before Y, what letter you have? R. R is a vowel or a consonant? Very good. It is a consonant. Okay? Now, R is a consonant. Now, what will happen? Y will change to I. Okay? Y will change to I. And to this I, you will add ER in the comparative form and EST in the superlative form. Understood? Now, dry. Dry spelling is D-R-Y. Dryer. D-R-I-E-R. Dryer. Y is changing to I. And to this I, you are adding E-R. So the word becomes dryer. And superlative is driest. D-R-I-E-S-T. Driest. Okay? Understood now, children? Yes. Now, in this rule only, if before this word Y, if there is a vowel here, like A, E, I, O, U, then Y will not change to I. Okay? Y will not change to I. You will add ER and EST. Understood? So, that is rule number 4. I hope you must have understood now, children. Yes? Now, last rule, rule number 5. All adjectives of more than 2 syllables add more or most. Okay? More than 2 syllables. Bapre, syllable means what, ma'am? I forgot, ma'am. I don't know, ma'am. Yes? Syllable means the sound of the vowel of the word. Okay? Sound. Syllable means sound of the vowels. Now, let us see. If the adjective is having more than 2 syllables, means more than 2 vowel sounds, then you will add more and most. This is very easy, no? Now, for example, beautiful. Okay? The word beautiful. Beautiful. In this, what are you able to hear? Vowel sound. T. Full. Full. So, another vowel sound. So, I am able to hear 2 vowel sounds. Yes, I am having 2 syllables. Okay? Beautiful. Now, to this, I will add more in the comparative form, most in the superlative form. So it becomes more beautiful and most beautiful. Yes, children? Yes, I hope you must have understood a little. I know because all this at a time is very confusing. Yes, let me repeat it once. Okay? A quick recap. I'll send you all the pics with examples so you'll be having a clear idea. Degrees of comparison is divided into three parts, mainly positive, comparative and superlative. Positive is normal one, okay, which is present tense, the only adjective, simple form. Comparative is between two objects you compare. Superlative means to a large extent we do the comparison, that is superlative. Now to this there are many rules to apply where and what. Let us have a quick recap. Rule number 1. Comparative, generally to the positive form we add either ER in the comparative form and EST in the superlative form. This is very simple. To any word, generally normal adjective, we add ER in the comparative form, EST in the superlative form. Bold, bolder, boldest. Rule 2. When the positive is ending with E, only R and ST are added. So, if the positive adjective is ending with E, then R is added for the comparative, ST is added for the superlative degree. Brave, braver, bravest. Okay. Now, rule number 3. Trouble starts now. When the positive ends with one consonant and the consonant is preceded by short vowel, the first consonant is doubled and ER and EST are added. So, if a positive word is ending with one consonant